Welcome back to Salty Sunshine. This is Lisa, your host. I have so much to talk about, mainly Love is Blind episodes 10 and 11. These are the last two episodes before the season finale next week is one episode, and then the reunions, I think they said the 22nd or I don't know when, 29 something. It went by so fast. I started it super late. I guess that's why it feels that way because I did episodes 1 through 9 in one shot and then now 10 and 11. Oh my gosh, this show's so crazy. I have no idea who I think is going to make it. But before that, let's talk about some other topics. Victoria's Secret Fashion Show 2025 aired on Prime TV, Prime Live. And I had no idea it was coming on. I did not see one advertisement. I didn't see one news article talking about it whatsoever. Like nothing, not one thing. And I feel like I'm pretty up to date. I mean, I'm not online 24/7, but I feel like I would have seen it. I didn't see it. My daughter told me, Bree told me, did you know that the show was on tonight? I had no idea. I'm like, I had no idea either. This is crazy. Obviously, people knew because people showed up at the event and people tuned in. But I think they could have done a better job. I thought the aesthetics and the design was amazing. I think it was more too much of a concert and less. It wasn't. It's usually focused on the models walking, showcasing the clothing and the lingerie, and then one or two singers singing in between, and people walk around like one singer. This was like back to back to back to back to back concert, and it took away from the people walking, and I didn't love that. I'm not gonna lie, because you saw less of the models and more of the concert. But it was still great. It was great. All the concerts were great. All the performers were great. Missy Elliott, Carol G. It was good, but not but it was a good show. I would like less of the concert, like more of the modeling. I love my favorite part is seeing the OG Victoria's Secret bombshells. I That to me is what Victoria's Secret is. I don't care. You can fight me on this. This is just my opinion. I want the old school Victoria's Secret Angel. Not everybody's supposed to be a model. I'm not saying anything about the other models. They were great. If you're going to have different size models, that's fine, but they all have to be in shape. They all have to be in shape. You could be a bigger person. You can have bigger legs. You have different body types, but at least if you could tell you work out and you're tight and right, I don't care how big you are, how small you are, but you have to be in shape. I think to me, that's like the quintessential Victoria's Secret model. There were bigger girls that were in shape, tiny waist, like rock hard abs, but they had bigger legs. That's great. They look good. They have big butts. That's fine. The ones that are clearly out of shape, and there wasn't many with flabby arms and suddenly that's not a model. And I mean, are we going to put a bunch of white guys on the basketball teams like short? That no. I mean, it's an industry, and not everybody is supposed to fit into certain industries. I overall though it was great. I think all the models were beautiful. There was maybe one or two that I thought, oh my god, you don't really need to be there, but whatever. It was a great show, design, aesthetic. Um, I loved it. The OG models though, that girl, what's her name? Not Carol. Whatever her name is, Swindle with a C. Candace. Her body is so crazy. It makes you want to just eat ice for dinner and start doing her workout from her Instagram. It's like great. She is what I think is hot. I don't like the wave skin. There was a lot of wave skinny girls up there. They couldn't hold the wings. The Hadid sisters looked like they were falling to the side because they're not. You could tell they don't work out on a daily basis. Not the way Candace and Alessandra and all those people. Their bodies are rock hard. They're strong. They're strong, strong, strong. And that's the kind of body I want to see up there. I don't want to see wave skinny. I don't want to see like you look like you're frail. I want like that model, that OG angel. And they hit it out of the ballpark. It was so good. I loved it. Um, J-Lo was on Howard Stern. And she was saying that he asked her, was there ever a role that you were offered and you declined and you are regretful? She said, yes, they offered her the role of Unfaithful. My favorite movie, one of my top five, with Diane Lane, or what's her name? I think that's her name. Um, thank God she didn't say yes, because not that she wouldn't have ruined it, it would have been fine. It just would have been a different movie because you can't. I mean, it was perfection the way it is. So that was interesting to find out. Then she did mention to him that her kids had to pull her aside and tell her that she was not a present mom, like she was always gone, that she didn't take her to school, pick them up, all that stuff, and that it was a really hard conversation, but she needed to hear it. But I'm like, did anything change? Because you're still always working, which is why I think most of her relationships don't work, apart from maybe they weren't a fit. I don't think you can work so much and have a good relationship. I really don't. I think there's a happy medium and you have to pick your work and have some breaks and have a routine at home. Nobody survives that way. It's about connection and physically being there. And I think that was a big problem with her and Ben Affleck too. It was too much. It's like go 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 all the time. She's promoting the Spider movie, and she's already working on another movie, a rom-com she said on Watch What Happens Live, and then she has a residency in Vegas that she's doing again. It's like, why are you continuing to work so much? I don't understand. Isn't the point of being successful and having money that you can like sit back and have a nice home life? Isn't that the point? Um, so yeah, she can't. She's addicted to work. And at her age, why would she even want to do a residency? I just don't get it. She already did it. It was super hard. I don't know. She's running from something. That's my opinion. She looks really good on Watch What Happens Live, though. I do love that J-Lo is J-Lo. Like, she's herself. Um, she doesn't do all the lip fillers and the Botox. And even if she does a little, I don't think she does, because she moves her forehead and you can see fine lines. And I think I think it makes her look more youthful. I think that's why she looks so good. Because once you start doing the other things, you may get rid of the wrinkle, but it does give you that other look. And it's not a youthful one. So I think she looked great. She was talking about how when she was singing at the last concert and she had that animal insect crawling up her neck, she had no idea how big it was. It was funny. They did ask her about the A-Rod. Andy Cohen asked her about A-Rod texting Madison from Southern Charm, and she's looking at him like, what are you talking about? I don't care. And she wouldn't answer. That's the point. I get that you don't have to share everything as a celebrity, but that's like public news. So if I were JLo, I would just address it. Who cares? It's in the past. Like, you address it with no emotion. Like, you're just neutral. You're like, I'm bothered. But people want to know, so tell us. Anyways, she should have said that's messed up. I dumped his ass. Like, she should have said something. I think people would appreciate if you would just address, just like Kim Kardashian was on Alex Cooper's podcast, Call Her Daddy. And I haven't listened to it yet, but I know it's a big nothing burger, because that's what they do. These people go on there and they don't give the juice. Cardi B gives the juice. Okay. Call her what you want. She's a little cray, but she gives the juice. You ask her a question, she's going to be more than forthcoming and a little too forthcoming, and she spills it all. And I appreciate it. Even though I don't love everything she says, she can have a little more tact, but just give the people what they want for things that are public. You know, they ask him questions and she's very rehearsed. She's very PR trained. And I miss the old Kardashians when they were just crazy and they just said whatever that came to their head. I like that. I think that's why the Love Thy Nader show was so popular, because they're just being themselves. They don't care. They're just letting it all out there. Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Taylor Frankie Paul is the worst candidate for The Bachelorette. I'm sorry. I said it before. I stand by that. She's so toxic and she's very toxic. I like her. I like watching her. I think she's cute and genuine, but she's also extremely toxic. And anyone playing that she's not, you're delusional. She's the problem. I've been saying this from day one. She has a bad, healthy way of dealing with relationships, and now she's out with all this drama, which I think is bad for her children. It's bad for her baby daddy and the relationship that they can co-parent. So the whole drama is that Dakota, her ex-boyfriend and baby daddy, is sleeping with the new girl that was just on last season, that came on new, that she was part of the light swinging. Her friend, Miranda, I think her name is, her friend is sleeping with Dakota. And that same girl, Taylor's posting and deleting and all this stuff, but she's showing that the girl was obsessed with her, like single white female, that she was so obsessed with her that she even slept with her ex to be closer to her. And although that might be funny and we love all the gossip and the juice online and the drama, for her personal life, it's not good. And it's really not good for the Bachelorette. Like, who's going to want to date her? She's so toxic. So all the guys going on that show, you're either setting them up for failure or they're not taking it seriously, because she's just not a serious girl when it comes to wanting an emotionally mature relationship. So she's out here posting all the proof and all this stuff, and she's super upset, which means she's still having sex with him. I mean, she's just like a mess. Like, she won't stop having sex with him, no matter how much they break up, how long they haven't been together. And then obviously this is triggering for a reason. This wouldn't be so triggering, I feel like, if she hasn't messed with him in a while. And so that's the drama with her. And then he comes out, says his stupid, he came out commenting, I think he's so ick, but he came out commenting, everyone believes Taylor no matter what. She could feed you um a bowl of soup and say it's pasta and you'll believe her, and like, she's, no matter what she does, like, you believe her narrative. And so obviously she has a lot of fan base, and they do believe her narrative. And I mean, I could be a fan of her and say that she's still toxic. That's what I see. I'm being rational, and I'm not that I'm on his side or anything. I just feel like she is toxic. She's part of the problem. I love I would love to see her kind of get out of this mess, but it's almost like she struck gold with the whole swinging and then the reality show, but instead of elevating, she's staying in the mud with the stuff that she shouldn't be involved in anymore, especially with 3 kids. Um okay, speaking of Alex Cooper, back in the day, Alex Cooper and Alex Earle, they had some beef. Something happened, right? Alex Earle joined Unwell Media and put her podcast on there. Then at some point, Alex Cooper dropped her and gave back all the rights to the show. So there was a falling out. Nobody knows what it is. Nobody talks about it. Fine. But it keeps lingering. And so now that Alex Earle's on Dancing with the Stars, Alex Cooper had a Vegas show with her brand. And so Alex Earle's Dance with the Stars first dance opened to Britney Spears' song Circus. And then Alex Cooper opened up her show with the Circus song and said, I have all the time in the world, quoting Alex Earle's response to a fan saying, what happened between you and Alex Cooper? And she said, how much time do you have? So then it's obviously a play on that. And it's so, again, going back to toxic, Alex Cooper is of a certain age. She's married. Why is she doing this? I don't get it. She's acting like a frat boy. I think it's beneath her, but whatever. It's silly. I think she's never going to win this battle. Alex Earle's beloved. There's something about Alex Earle that's very sweet. She's a very sweet girl next door. She's a party girl and everything, but you could tell she doesn't have a mean bone in her body. And she's just a nice girl that parties, and she has like a very beautiful aura. And that's why I think she has such a huge fan base. And Alex Cooper has a huge fan base, but she doesn't have that same factor, and she's never going to win. She's just not, so she needs to drop it, as far as I can tell. Speaking of Dancing with the Stars, dedication night this week was absolutely phenomenal. One of the best shows this season. They've never done it before. It was their first time, and I thought it was really beautiful. All the dedications, it made you tear up. I loved it. I loved it, loved it, loved it. It was great. And then obviously they said a little about their life, like Alex Earle, her parents, her dad apparently when she was 10 was cheating on the mom and left the mom for the same lady he cheated on her with, and then had a kid and got married to the lady. And at first, when the baby was born, Alex and her sister were like, we don't want anything to do with it. They were young. They didn't know what was happening, but it was weird to them. But then once the baby was born and they were around her a lot, they fell in love with her. And so the little girl brought their family together. And it was really cute because she dedicated it to her little sister, and the little sister was dancing with her, and it was so cute. And Andy, the comedian, met his wife, and she had a little daughter, and he took over the dad role. The lady was a single mom. The dad was out of the picture, and he now calls himself her dad, and it's really cute. He brought her out. I loved it. Best show of the season. They didn't vote anyone off because that would have been terrible, right? So they're rolling the votes over to this coming week. And then Kim Kardashian dropped not the most, because there's no bounds to the limits that this woman will go for shock factor. And I'm so over it. I'm so over Kim. I'm just over it. She dropped a hairline, a faux thong hairlines for a bush. different colors, different textures, absolutely stupid. Quote unquote sold out. There was probably one in each size. I don't know. I don't believe that's what they do. They kind of quote unquote sell out, and there's probably 5 items in stock. It's so dumb. Why would you want that? Who would wear that unless you're a pervert or you have some fetish? It's silly. It's not even functional. You can't really wear that under something. It's probably going to be weird and puff out in your clothes and feel awkward. Whatever. Also, she was spotted at the premiere of All's Fair. It's the legal drama that's coming to Hulu with huge actresses, Glenn Close and the other one and the other one, Nisi. I'm sorry. I don't think it's going to be any good. I think that the trailer looks all whatever. I don't know. I think it looks silly, but I'm obviously going to watch and see if it's any good. She just doesn't fit in. She sticks out like a sore thumb. So I don't know. It's hard for me to buy what they're doing. Ellen Greenberg. She's the girl from the documentary on Hulu, Death in Apartment 603. So if you watched it, you know the story. She was 27 years old, school teacher, and her death was ruled a suicide when her fiance came home, went to the gym, and she was in the house and in the apartment, and he couldn't get back in. It was locked from inside, those latches, which is why they keep saying it's a suicide, because they figured no one could have gone in there because you can't lock that latch from outside. So if someone killed her and left, they can't lock that from inside. So someone locked that from inside. But my question is, A, who stabbed themselves 20 times for a suicide? You say, okay, it's possible. Sure. You can have a psychotic episode, stab yourself 20 times, but she stabbed herself in the back. That's where it gets even weirder. And then also, what floor was the apartment on? Was there one of those stairs in the back of the building that you can come in and out and go up and down the building? If there isn't, then that would rule out the possibility of someone going through the window or out the window. So I don't know. The parents have been fighting all these years since her death to reopen the case and, unrule it a suicide, that they think she was murdered, and they just re-ruled it a suicide. So I don't know. The parents are out of luck with that, and her ex-fiance lives in Manhattan, is married, has kids, and apparently he's come out saying he's had such a difficult time with this, and it's really hard to deal with. Oh, 6th-floor apartment. Okay, 6 floors is not that high up. And I don't know if it had one of those stairs. I don't know what you call that. The fire stairs or whatever. It doesn't say here in the article, but it's been 14 years. And multiple experts have uncovered damning evidence they say contradicts a suicide ruling, but either way, they ruled it again a suicide. Jesus. I mean, that's that on that. It's kind of crazy. Maybe she did suffer from depression, though. They said that her family knew, her fiance knew, she was getting on pills and medication, and she was suffering from depression. She wasn't herself. So that kind of would explain, maybe she had a psychotic episode or something. But he's not happy with all this because everyone's like, I'm sure it's affecting his personal life. And if he didn't have anything to do with it, he obviously went through the same heartache. And apparently in the documentary, he was a mess. When they went to court, he was like crying like hysterically after this happened, and he couldn't hold himself together in the funeral. And so maybe he didn't do it. Maybe she had a psychotic episode. I don't know. We'll never know. That's that. All right, let's get into Love is Blind. Episode 10 and 11. It's so good. I was kind of shocked. I wasn't expecting, because it's one of these seasons, like, some of them you're like, oh, for sure they're going to make it. They're great. And then other ones you're like, huh? But this one, I have no idea. It can go either way with every single couple. So Madison and Joe, obviously, I didn't think they were going to make it. It's pretty obvious that he seems to be not attracted to her. That's first of all. And her personality doesn't help because she's a nagging nightmare. Sorry. There's always one in every season of Love is Blind. And the white girl that's a little chunky and has the personality of a mop. Like, stop. And she's always nagging him. She doesn't let him talk. And I think if she would have had a different personality and they would have got along better, I think he would have grown to like, or maybe even fall in love with her. Because obviously she's cute. And obviously he liked her in the pod, and he did like her outside, and they obviously had sexual chemistry because they would talk about it. But her nagging and the fact that she really talked down to him, I don't think he could cope with it. Plus, he's super mature, and he was engaged and with someone 5 years before, and he bowed out of that last minute, right when they were sending out save the dates. So I think he might have commitment issues. Mickey's scared of it. Plus, he's immature. Plus, he didn't like her personality that much. Blah blah blah. Um, I feel like he was like frozen and didn't know what to do. He's like trying to make it work, and then once it gets closer and closer, and the fire starts going up, and he's at the tux fitting, he's like, "I'm out of here." Spoiler alerts. I'm gonna talk about the 2 episodes. Um, I think also her and her family constantly bringing up her eye issue and that she'll be blind in 4 years. I don't think that helped because the foundation wasn't strong enough to begin with. And you throw that on, and that's a huge undertaking. I was even shocked that he didn't back out earlier. I'm going to be honest. If I'm a girl or a guy, I don't want to be with someone that's going to be blind. I'm not signing up for that. I'm really not. And if I'm already in love with you and we already have a history, that's a totally different story. If I'm not in love with you and it's fresh, I don't know you, I'm not signing up for that. Mm-mm. I'm not doing it. So kudos to him for trying it out. But I think because of the issues they were already having, the fact that they kept bringing up her blindness ruined it. I think it ruined it. And he was out. He's like, I don't even like her that much. I'm not going to. So he ends up going to tux fitting. Then he leaves it early. He's like, I can't do this. And he was done. He decided he's done. And she's wigging out. She's crying. I thought it was interesting that she thought it was going so well. What was she seeing that we weren't seeing? And she was just delusional because she's like, I can't believe this. I feel like if we would have met outside and not on the show, we would have worked. And he said, no, I don't. I think we would have lasted even less. Like she was so not on the same page of what he was saying, and she kept asking why, which is the worst question. If you come and tell me I just don't feel it, like I want to end it, I don't know if I would ask why. And if I did, it would be once. I would be like, well, is there anything more you could share with me? If not, like, fine, I just drop it. Like, you just don't want to be with me. You don't have to have a why. There's people that just don't, you don't feel it. It feels off. You don't feel like that energy. And it's usually not one thing. It's usually just like a feeling that you don't want to continue. And that's okay. So her asking why? Doesn't make sense because it's not like they were going so great. I would understand if there was no inkling of him not wanting to be there, but there was a lot from day one. It was conflict. Um, yeah, he must feel like shit too because after the mom crying that she was so happy that she found him and stuff, I think that's the worst part of it all. He shouldn't have let it get that far, but he's obviously immature and stupid. So he left, and she's back and forth, like, upset about it. Then she hugs him and thanks him for going through it with her. She's all over the place. So that was Madison and Joe. Annie and Nick was shocking. Shocking and not shocking. I think Nick is surprisingly a very level headed, mature guy. I think he says all the right things. He talks slow. He thinks. He tells her. He communicates. He told her exactly how annoyed he was. He told her exactly, please stop saying this. Please don't put words in my mouth. I don't like when you do this. And then she keeps promising that she's not going to do it. And then she has a few drinks and does it again. She's all over the place. She's a love bomber. All she says is I love you. I would have like stopped saying I love you so much. It's so weird. You don't know me. It's been 3 weeks. Oh, so he had it. He had it after they were home at night and she had too much to drink. She looks like she was on one. And she's, with her hair and her eyelashes, and she talks like so weird when she's drinking. Oh, so you don't care. Oh, so you don't love me. Oh, it's like, stop. It's so annoying. So he was fed up. He's like, this is not an emotionally healthy relationship, and I don't want to move forward. He didn't want to move forward dating. He didn't want to move forward getting married. He's like, I'm done, period. Because she was like, no, you can't do this. Please, just give it a chance. That's the worst thing you can do. She kept begging. And then he's like, you can't make 1+2. He said, you can't make, I don't know, 2+2 = 3. She's like, watch me. Again, emotionally regulated behavior. She's super all over the place. And I don't even know if she actually really was into him because she wasn't even listening to him. I feel like she's just love bombing. That's what she's doing, textbook. And he ended it. So I was surprised he ended up so abruptly and he really held his ground. He's just like, I'm sorry, this is not for me. So he ends it. She wigs out and that's that. So they're done. Edwin and Calibria. I despise the way she talks to him. I feel uncomfortable. She sits there and makes him listen to a whole book of what happened between 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. that day, and he has to shut up and just listen. And it's so long winded and so crazy. It makes me uncomfortable. I feel he obviously has whatever is going on with him. Plus, he's super sweet, so he's not aggressive whatsoever. But he could be annoying because it will be like wishy washy. But then also, at no point he always is apologizing. And I liked when they were in front of the mountain on the dirt bikes they were on or whatever, that he was like, I'm not going to say sorry when I'm not sorry. I'm not going to say it just to say it because you're going to know I'm lying. And I felt that was so sincere. And it's like, stand up for yourself because she's like railroading you. And I hate it. I do think I do think she cares about him. And I do think she's a hothead and has no patience, like she admittedly says about herself. But she has no right to talk to him like that. And I wish he would stand up for himself more. I wish he would say, listen, I'm not going to continue to sit here and let you just talk a book to me about the whole day and how it went. That's your perspective, but I'm not going to just stay quiet and listen for an hour while you do this and tell me how wrong I am about everything. This should be a back and forth conversation. And she does admit later that she should let him give his thoughts and opinions, and she's wrong for kind of bulldozing him. So she does get together after she's had her thoughts and like alone, but it's too much at the time. She's too overbearing. I don't know if they're going to work out. I think they have a 30-70 chance, but that still is a chance they can get it together. Um, she called him a bitch and in that same conversation when they're on the mountain, and his face was like, whoa, because he does not like the conflict. You could tell he doesn't like the conflict, and that was a really low blow. She did apologize on her own. He didn't even have to bring it up when they talked about it, which is good. She's like, I let it get the best of me, but she should definitely never do that again. That's a terrible sign. So we'll see what happens with that. I think if anything, they could be great friends if it doesn't work out, because I do think there's a genuine care there. I just don't know if it'll work romantically. Ali and Anton. Anton's growing on me. At the beginning, I'm like, oh, this guy, the strip clubs and his drinking. And when she brings up his drinking, he kind of gaslights her and tells her, well, you drink and this and that. He doesn't want to hear it. He's not completely not listening, but he's not admitting to her face at the moment because he probably has to process it. I think he's open to change. I do like that his demeanor is soft. He's not an aggressive person because that means he's more flexible to, molding into what they need to be for each other. So I give them, Allie and Anton, I give them 60-40 chance. I think there's a chance it could go sideways, but I think there's a chance. I think he's evolving, and I think she has a really good way of talking to him that's not triggering. And I think there's a chance. I think her and her mom talking Portuguese in her kitchen, I was so annoyed. I'm like, why are you making me read? Like, speak English. You're on a show that's in America. Anyways, her mom was really cute. His mom I love. She's so cute and sweet. I think his mom will be a great help to Allie if she needs it, because she seems like she doesn't have any agenda and she's just a nice lady. So I think that'll work in their favor. Megan and Jordan. Oof, this season, episode 11, they seem to be pretty even keel till now. It's the flaws are showing. So Jordan, the chicken protein smoothie criminal, because it's criminal. His protein smoothies are criminal, disgusting. Um, she's seeing a side of him she doesn't like. So she's very animated and talky. And he's more laid back. Apparently, he has a job in sales. So he's talking on the phone and to people all day long, which makes him want to go home and stay silent. I can appreciate that you don't want to go home and go to happy hour. You don't want to go home and talk too much. But I'm sorry, you can't talk over dinner. Like, that's ridiculous. It's like she's like, we just stare at each other. That would drive me crazy. I don't care how much you talk to people when you get home and you're having a bite to eat or you're on the like talk anything. It doesn't have to be like a long drawn out conversation. It's just light stuff. He won't talk about work. Fine. You don't want to talk about work, talk about something else. You could talk about lunch you had at work. You could talk about what you saw on the way to work or whatever. It could be anything. But I get what she's saying. And his reactions are ridiculous because, yes, you don't want to have long, drawn out conversations when you get home. I get that. But also, you can have small talk in little pieces. Come on. So I don't know what's going to happen there because it was a pretty uncomfortable conversation. And he's like, this is not the pods. This is not this. This is not that. It's like, oh, so you want her to come in and be a stepmom, which is a lot of work, emotional work. What if she told your kid, I don't want to talk today? Would you like that? No, she's going to put a lot of effort into being a certain role model for your kid. The least you could do is talk to her about nothing when you get home. Like that, she should mention that. I'm going to send her. No, they already passed. I give them 50-50. I don't know. It all depends on. She's going to have to change her lifestyle drastically because he doesn't seem like he has any energy for anything. So she wants to be on the go. She wants to do happy hour. She wants to travel. She wants blah, blah, blah. I don't understand if she is this whatever businesswoman. I don't know what kind of business she has, but if he doesn't love his job, you could tell, right? And he works a lot. So why can't she just like talk about maybe incorporating him into her business? And that way he can have a better business. He can evolve and they'll be happier together and he can leave that job. I think that's a better solution. I don't know what kind of business she has, but he should get into the business with her so they can evolve together and he can have a better job and he'll be happier and a better lifestyle. We'll see what happens with them. All the wedding dresses, when they were trying them on, were really beautiful. I feel like they were prettier than other seasons I've seen. I really loved it. I feel bad that Madison tried on that dress and had her mom crying and stuff just so the guy can meet. Like, that sucks. That was not cool. I don't think Nick broke up with her before that, so that was good of him. So yeah, I can't wait for episode 11, see who stays, and then the reunion, which is never great, but whatever, we'll take what we can get because Nick and Vanessa don't do a great job at the reunion. They never ask the good questions. They never follow up and go deeper, but we'll see. I'm loving the season. It's really good. So that's what we have for this week. And I'm loving all the spooky season, Halloween stuff. It's so fun. Halloween's like one of my favorite holidays. So I'll see you next week. Bye.